Alrighty, boys, heading out on track with the CBR650R giveaway bike. We're going to warm up our tires slightly. We're on these Dunlop Road Smart 2s, I think they're called. Gonna warm them up really nice and easy. Talk you through a little bit about this motorcycle. Zip that up a little bit. Alright, so Honda CBR650R. We're working with a 649cc inline 4 engine, making about 94 horsepower, 47 foot-pounds of torque. And, you know, it's a steel frame. It's got pretty relaxed ergonomics and kind of features to it. It's not really a race bike, but, you know, it's got sporting intentions. And I think it's important when you try out a motorcycle that does have sporting intentions that you end up, you know, taking it on track to see what it can do, right? I think it's very important. Otherwise, you'll never know what the bike can do. So, what does this bike do well? Well, you know, what it does really well is that it has a very willing, zesty little motor. Really nice little 649cc inline 4 here. You guys can hear it. Has that sporting, willing intention right there. We'll go ahead and pick it up right here. But not particularly fast as I hold that into place. And obviously, the cool part about this bike is the fact that it does come equipped with e-clutch. So you guys saw that I grabbed downshifts right there without holding the clutch lever, which is pretty cool. Now, I don't get super good feelings out of this thing. It's not particularly confidence inspiring, and there's a few reasons for that. Number one, it's pretty heavy. 470-ish pounds, I think, 466 quoted. So it's a lot to manage, honestly. It feels like a dense, heavy little motorcycle. The ergonomics are okay, but that weight, you never really get away from it. As we'll pick it up here, I think I'm just gonna keep the 360 there. And it can also basically do quick shift up, as you guys saw there. Ooh, that 360's low. I hope that angle's cool. Into the braking zone here with the e-clutch. Honestly, pretty good. Ooh, missed our apex. As I just said, the brakes are pretty decent, but, you know, still getting used to this bike a little bit. I think the way I can describe this motorcycle is it's not a particularly willing dance partner. Bone stock, it's a little frightening on track for two reasons. Number one, the tires just leave quite a bit to be desired. I think you just don't really have much grip, and it's a bit vague. And the other reason was the one I just did right there. That auto blip down using the e-clutch can get a little spicy, because what it's doing is it's physically using the clutch. And so, you know, it basically ends up feeling like a downshift that's not exactly super clean. As you guys will see here, you want to make sure the bike is pretty upright, because you guys see there, it tends to kind of drift a little bit, right? And so I actually wanted to try doing, God, I missed my apexes everywhere. I wanted to try doing a few laps with the e-clutch and then without it. So go ahead and pass here. Minding our braking distance here. Being gentle with this bike. Gentle. These more road-oriented bikes on track, you got to be really gentle with them. And some are better than others and make you believe in what they can do. But some, you're like, you gotta mind the feelings, you know, especially from the tires. So that's the first thing I would change on this machine. If you're gonna run it on track, ditch these Road Smart, whatever the hell these tires are. Get real tires on this motorcycle. It's going to make a massive difference. Bang for buck. It's the best thing you can do for any motorcycle is get proper tires on it. You guys see there, we want to keep it nice and upright when you're using that e-clutch. But for this next lap, why don't we just use the clutch? We'll do quick shift up, basically. So you guys see there, it actually goes quick shift up. But now in here, we're just going to grab the clutch. Yeah, I can rev it out a little bit more. It feels more natural. Wide open. Gonna bury it in here. Little too much. Ooh. Bad feelings from this bike, man. Vague brakes, vague tires. I don't know. Maybe I'm just a terrible rider. I definitely do prefer the downshifts using the clutch. Drifted out a little bit there. Not good feelings from the tire, man. Not good feelings. Open it up there. Gonna carry it out here a little bit. Let's see if we can tighten up our line here. There we go. The upshift works pretty good. I think it just gave me a little warning sign. Oh, that's gas. That's hilarious. Let me run out of gas on track. That's crazy. It feels this heavy on an empty gas tank too. That's pretty wild. So I think the CBR650R, man, it's like you got to temper your expectations with it, right? Like it's not really designed for any serious sporty riding. And there's a couple not so super sports that I would take in place of this, right? RS660 jumps to mind. 66 pounds lighter. R7. All of them are more capable on track and going to be more enjoyable too, despite this having a 4-cylinder engine. You know, this reminds me a lot of the ZX4 in terms of its capabilities, but its weight is just a little bit more. Let's use those brakes. Come on, CBR. There we go. Carve a good line. We'll keep it in second here. I think we have the over rev for it. Let's see. Limiter. But that works because we stay in the gear. You have a good rev ceiling on this. What is it rev to? 12,000-ish? That's pretty good. You can keep it in third here. But I don't have the confidence, man. I can push harder, I know I can, but not on this bike. It's not giving me feedback that's saying, hey, yeah, like let's push harder. And that's the thing I try to tell you guys about the track bikes that work better, is they give you confidence to push more, you know? That's why I loved the RC8C. It's not a competitive bike, obviously, but as an extreme example, one of the reasons I loved it so much was because it gave you the feeling that you could do it, you know? This bike doesn't really give you that feeling. What's funny too is you have to train your brain to remember that it's making inline 4 sounds, but it doesn't have inline 4 speed. In that, you know, it's like, it's gonna make the inline 4 sound, but you're not doing the same speed. So your braking marker is actually a little different than would be on a 600, because you have 30 less horsepower. We're gonna cook it down a little bit because I'm running out of gas here. Let's go for one more lap at a slightly chill pace and we'll talk through this bike a little bit. Yeah, downshifting with the clutch is better for track day use, for sure. So if you're gonna use this motorcycle on a racetrack, several things I would change. First, of course, tires, right? Let's swap out these Dunlops for, you know, a Bridgestone S22, S23 maybe. You get some of that street going performance, but you still get, you know, the real deal tire feel at the track, because these just don't have a proper V shape. They're really all over the place, man. And they just don't give the good feelings, man. I don't have the good feelings on this bike. Then what else would I do? Ergonomically, I think it's okay. Surprisingly, I haven't dragged peg anywhere, so that's nice. I guess you don't need to adjust the ergos or the pegs. You have decent ground clearance on this machine. Makes a nice sound. I don't think it needs a pipe necessarily, but you know, always more fun if you're going to be on track with a real pipe. So yeah, you definitely want to swap out those tires. I don't think suspension really needs much. You can work with this pretty well. I didn't really find a need to have stiffer suspension or more dialed in suspension or anything like that on this machine. I didn't really feel that it's like, oh, it's not predictable, it's not doing what it needs to do. I find that this motorcycle is totally predictable. It's doing a really nice job. Braking feel is vague, right? So, you know, maybe an upgraded master cylinder, go direct lines. That's always going to be a nice improvement over stock, because you have good hardware down below. You have Nissan radial mount calipers, and you have a 310 mil floating disc. So the hardware itself is good down below. Just pair it with, you know, a really good master cylinder, and then you know, just something that will actually do the job. Oh my god, is that an RSV4 that I'm, oh my god, dude, that's crazy. I thought it was a 660. You know, pair it with a master cylinder that's going to do the job, right? Again, it's bizarre because it presents a very, very sporty image of what it is, but it's definitely the least capable not so super sport that I've ridden. This is like 90% road, 10% track. Like, it's really not doing the track day thing. Perhaps with better tires it would improve the feeling, but I like to test the bike's bone stock. And so for me, I think this bike would need quite a bit of tweaking and adjustments to be properly capable. Somehow reducing the weight would be fantastic, because the initial turn-in is just like very sluggish. It's just like a little bit sluggish, and it just doesn't really do the thing it needs to do. I think that if you were to go with a different master, change out the tires, I think you'd get to a good baseline with this machine. But try to reduce the weight a little bit. You can take off some of the street stuff. You maybe get this down to like 430 somehow, 440. It would be fun. Not much more power to be unlocked with this machine. E-clutch specifically on track, you know, basically functions like a quick shifter. The auto blip down is not really an auto blip down because it's just doing the clutch itself. So it just feels like you're letting the clutch take all the abuse. So I would recommend, if you're riding this on track, grab the clutch yourself, rev match yourself. That'll definitely feel a lot better. And yeah, I think that would basically sum up what this bike could do. But temper your expectations. If you're buying this machine, it's certainly not a race bike in any way, shape, or form. It is, like I said in my initial first ride and review, it is the quintessential motorcycle for those of you who want something that looks cool, sounds cool, but is a great commuter option, is going to work really well for the commuters and really do the job of what a fun, sporty road bike should be. So out of all the not-so-super sports, certainly the lowest one on the category. This is a very refined road bike, definitely not a track bike in my opinion. So guys, that's going to wrap up the track review of the CBR650R. Remember, this is a giveaway bike. That's the only reason I have this thing. I bought it to give away on the channel. So hit that link down below. Check it out. Become a member. Support the show. And we truly do appreciate everyone who's supporting the channel. Thanks so much for watching, guys. We'll see you on the next one. Bye.
Keep watching, yeah, me know.